guidelines and recommended that consumers wear fabric face masks, we suddenly saw an overwhelming demand. And so we put out a call to our sellers. We have about 2.7 million artisans who are craftspeople, and said, hey, anyone who can, please start making masks. And within literally days, we had 20,000 shops up and running selling masks. And now we're able to produce, or our sellers are able to produce hundreds of thousands of masks per day. And I think it's really, there's three things about it that I think are really powerful and compelling. The first is it's really important that we protect the medical grade equipment for hospitals and for people who need it. The second is if you're buying a mask from someone on Etsy, you're helping another independent business who often is hard hit. So this is a great way for our sellers to earn income. For example, many people might be, for example, making wedding dresses, and the wedding season is pretty hard hit right now. So they can shift to making fabric face masks instead. And third, our sellers can make customized, personalized, fabric face masks with a little bit of flair, a little bit of style. And so we think it's really kind of the magic of Etsy coming to help at a time that's really important when people need us.
And Josh, I mean, it's great to see, as you suggest, and I also totally get your point that it allows the medical masks to go where they're most needed. That said, with lots and lots of smaller sellers as opposed to just the large companies that are pivoting to make masks, is there a risk that there's no kind of stamp of quality or no, I know it doesn't need FDA approval, but no clear kind of organization checking that these are the right types of products to be out there in the marketplace?
Yeah, look, I think it's really important that we be very clear that we at Etsy are not making a claim that these are protective. And the CDC itself has said a fabric face mask is probably better than nothing. But please do not assume that this keeps you or the people around you safe. It's an additive measure. It's not preventative.
So you've got, 2.7 million sellers on your platform, Josh? 83% are women. You've always been a leader of gender equality and female entrepreneurship. Talk about what those businesses are going through. Are they relatively insulated from the broader economic crash here because they sell online?
They're not insulated at all. And in fact, our 2.7 million sellers are businesses of one. They're sole proprietors. And the thing about being a business of one is if you or a loved one gets sick, there's no one else who can fill in for you. Or if demand drops because of economic concerns or other things, you don't have a stable paycheck. That comes dollar for dollar out of your pocket. So we've been very active in advocating with Congress. So we've been very active advocating with Congress for protections that independent workers like Etsy sellers need.
In terms of the feedback you're getting from your small businesses, Josh, or the numbers that you're seeing in terms of flows, how much do you think they're under pressure right now?
I think, look, business people around the country and frankly around the world are under a ton of pressure right now. Certainly, if you have a retail establishment, you're under pressure. But, people are concerned about where their next paycheck is coming from. And that provides also its own level of insecurity. So we're really happy to be able to provide a stream of income for many of our sellers. But we're also advocating really aggressively with Congress to make sure that we get federal protections. And I do want to point out that the CARE Act that was passed recently specifically provides protection for unemployment insurance and loans for independent workers, which was a real breakthrough. But unfortunately, the way that those are being implemented is actually excluding access from independent workers. So, for example, the application form you need to fill out asks for things like payroll data, which a sole proprietorship doesn't have. Sole proprietorships are not allowed to even apply until April 10th, and many people think all of the funds will have run out by then. So we think it's really important that Congress act to protect sole proprietors and independent businesses. And there's about 57 million independent businesses. These are people who are not on a W-2, and that's out of a total population of 160 million workers in America. So this is a really big and important population.
Have you contacted any members of Congress or the administration on this to try to get the rules here rewritten for the sole proprietors?
Absolutely. We've been very active, and I've been speaking with senators personally. My team has been in close touch with the administration and with Congress and with the Senate. And, everyone is really trying to help. And in every interaction, we've seen no partisanship. People are just trying to do the right thing. So it's a nice moment for us to try to come together and help populations that need it. We're just moving very fast. And so we need to make sure that the execution keeps track with the intention.
Josh, a quick final question, which you may dodge, and I'll forgive you if you do so, as former CEO of Skype. What do you make of all of the current pushback on Zoom that they're facing at the moment, whether it's because of Zoom bombing or routing certain things through servers in China?
Look, it's tough to be an entrepreneur. And I would say that we're seeing a moment where remote work is really valued and really important. And suddenly the stakes go up a lot. And a lot of what made Zoom so popular early on was that it's so easy to use. And that worked really well until suddenly it didn't. Some of the ease of use came back in terms of privacy and security. So I think it's so important that all of us as business leaders really think about privacy and security and what could go wrong very early and place a high priority on it.
Well, far from a dodge there, a great answer. Thanks so much for that and for the full interview, Josh Silverman.